Alrighty guys, Barcelona and Liverpool legends are back. They are within the top agent, only cost 100 coins. In this episode, I'm going to show you the quick review about the Master League myClub managers. Alrighty guys, so we have the classic Master League managers are back on myClub. We had them last year as well. This year, the exact same tactic and of course managers, but whether certain managers will suit PES 2017 or not. Now, I'm going to go through each of these managers. It's going to be a long video, but I'm trying to cut it short and get to the point. I will know blah 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 more. I'm going to mention the pros and the cons. The managers that I would not recommend, I would simply tell you why I would not recommend it and move on. The managers I would recommend, I will tell you the pros and cons. Alright, first, let's start with Valeni. Now, 3 at the back on PES 2017 only works if it's 3-4-3 or 3-5-2-3. Otherwise, ignore it. Now with Valeni, of course, this manager even last year, as you can see, the build-up is long pass and it's wide. The style that you play with this manager is simply, as soon as you get the ball, long ball deep to the flank, cross. This is like the ultimate cross spamming manager. I'm pretty sure most of you will go for that. But ideally, I mean, when you have 3 center backs, your containment area should be wide. That's what I would recommend. Would I recommend this manager? Well, think about it. Do you have solid, tall, fast center backs? You need the anchor man as your DMF. Your LMF and RMF could be natural fullbacks so they can track back. If you use like Bale or Robin as LMF and RMF and then Ronaldo, Messi right foot forward, you're going to be attacking like crazy, but smart people will hold the ball and counter you. So, would I recommend this manager and how much would I rate him? I will rate this manager 7 out of 10. Personally, I mean, I probably would sign him because I like 3 at the back. That's the only reason. A lot of people on myClub plays 4-3-3 and 3-4-3 and 4-4-2-2-2 will always counter the most used classic 4-3-3. So I would rate this manager 7 out of 10, and I would recommend it if you actually have a solid anchor man and decent center backs and an offensive goalkeeper. And for your squad builder, I would definitely recommend natural fullbacks as LMF and RMF, like using Marcelo as an LMF, and your RMF could be someone like I mean, any even if you don't want to use a natural fullback, you can use a RMF that is a box to box, like these Enrique, etc. Anyway, next we have Kelson. Now this formation is 5 at the back. This is kind of a park the bus because defensive style is all out defense and counter is wide, maintain formation. Now this formation ideally you want to have maybe position and flexible because it's kind of a diamond down the middle. Even though attacking area is wide, it's kind of gets predictable for the opponent to know what you're doing and your style, and even the AI of the opponent, will be easier for them to actually mark your players when it's maintained formation. Now the only downside with 2 strikers, when your attacking area is wide, those 2 strikers will literally act like wingers, and your AMF is going to be the key man to actually tap in goals and spread the ball or even score. So your AMF has to be someone solid. Maybe use Gareth Bale or even use Neymar or Messi. So I would recommend this manager if you like to play defensive. However, against aggressive managers, you may struggle with pressure. So if you don't know how to absorb pressure, intercept and counter, then this manager is not for you. My recommendation for this manager will be 8 out of 10. And remember, your squad builder, you can use extra front man as your center back, and the other sides could be tall and strong. Your right back and left back use offensive fullbacks. Do not use, I mean, imagine if you go 5 center backs. Leave things as it is. There's a reason why this manager doesn't have a DMF. Try it with 2 center midfielders, use box to box and destroyers. If it doesn't work, go DMF, because you're already defensive styles all out defense. I don't see the point of using DMF. So I'll rate this manager 8 out of 10. Next, we're gonna go for Aoga. That's how you pronounce his name. Now this year we have fluid formation, but this year you can actually turn the fluid formation off. Basically, when you start off the game, it shapes up like this. When you have the ball, it turns into 3-4-3, which I really love. And when you don't have the ball, it turns back to this. Downside, fluid formation requires a lot of stamina. You will literally need to apply stamina every match. Another things It's all out defense and conservative. So it's like literally you're gonna be playing so deep. And again, people use aggressive managers. For myClub, there's two key things when it comes to myClub. A decent balanced squad builder, and you have to make sure that the main manager you are using, defensive style is frontline pressure and aggressive. On myClub, whoever pressures more, whoever is leading, will win the game. Simple as that. Would I recommend this manager? Fuck no. Moving on. I'm guessing you don't pronounce the N, so I'm gonna go for Jorgo. I'm not from Norway. This is the same exact scenario as the previous manager, but this is like a fucking nutcase. I mean, what the hell kind of fluid formation is this? You're playing 3-2-4-1. When you have the ball, it turns into 4-1-2-3, and when you don't have the ball, it's 5-2-2-1. Now, this is pretty good to actually confuse the opponent, especially if he mouse marks you. But, however, with fluid formation, you always need to stay on the ball for like 10 seconds so that your team will shape up. Tactics are decent. I mean, this is like almost the perfect tactics when it comes to myClub. Low support range, balanced defensive line, balanced compactness, containment area is center. I would have preferred wide. Even the defensive tactics actually defensive tactically, because most managers' defensive tactics is actually more aggressive than the offensive one. So would I recommend this manager? No, really no. I mean, this fluid is just... If you're gonna buy these managers with a lot of coins in GP, you want a manager that is consistent. Okay, Helenius is 3-3-1-3. Well, you can read it as 3-4-3. Now this is crazy. You have one center back and two fullbacks. If you're gonna sign this manager, you might want to turn those RB and LB to CBs. Use players like, for example, if you use Ramos, he can play a center back and right back. If you use Boateng. So if you're going to sign this manager, then your RB and LB has to be players that can play a center back as well, just to have an option. If you start like this with single center back, then you're going to have to make every attack count, because when you lose the ball, you will most likely concede. And you will get spammed on the flank as well, because containment area is center, defensive line is high, compactness is very low as well, so you're kind of prone down the middle as well. Would I recommend this manager? I would say 7 out of 10 if you're going to turn these center backs, these fullbacks, into CB. And you're going to be playing, you're going to be controlling the midfield without a doubt, especially against people who attack down the middle. And you're attacking wide as well, because attacking area is wide. Now, the only downside is if you're playing against 4-3-3, if you're playing against 4-2-2-2, especially against 4-2-2-2, LMF and RMF will always going to be open against you, because you're playing a little bit kind of diamond in the midfield. So my recommendation is going to be 7 out of 10. And if you're going to use this manager, any formation with a single DMF has to be an anchor man. Your two CMFs in this formation has to be box to box at least, because you're playing with frontline pressure and aggressive. And of course, it's position game. You can use Fox in the box or target man. Attacking area is wide, so you're going to be playing a crossing game. Alright, next we have Ostw. Now this is a very weird manager. If you like quick passing, some people do ping pong and they say I'm playing tiki-taka. No. Tactic wise, this manager is good. But you can only defend narrow, and you can only attack narrow basically. You don't have that many options. You can actually put these two AMFs wider, but your attacking area is center. Every time you have the ball, your players go down the middle. So this is very predictable. If you use this against me, I will know. I will instantly swarm the box. So every time you have the ball, I'm swarming the box. And swarm the box is actually good for someone playing down the middle. Don't use swarm the box against cross spammers. The reason why I'm saying that, even in the previous video I recommended it, after the data pack, it's kind of things kind of change how the AI works regarding the gameplay. So if somebody's spamming crossing against you, do not use swarm the box. You have better chance stopping the cross than stopping the header. So avoid swarm the box. Would I recommend this manager? No. Next, as I said, if you're going to play 3 at the back system on PES 2017, has to be 3-4-3 or 5-2-3. I would not recommend. I mean, it is fun. It's always fun to play 3-5-2. Is my favorite formation. Used to work really well on PES 13, 12, 15. But this year, when you have two strikers, your LMF and RMF doesn't attack much because you have two strikers. When you have a single striker, then your LMF and RMF attacks. This is how it works. This is how the AI works when you use this formation. Now, of course, I do like 3-5-2. It's just not consistent. I mean, it's definitely gonna give the most overpowered and used 4-3-3. Almost every player you play against is gonna play 4-3-3, and 3-5-2 will definitely dominate 4-3-3. But would I recommend it? 3 at the back, classic 3-5-2? Not really. I mean, you could be trying this and having a couple of good matches, but I'm talking about consistency. Trust me, I have tried every single manager. Now, Mako with the weird fluid formation again. Tactic looks good, a little bit conservative with high defensive line. I'm not sure if this is a good combination. I mean, you're pushing up with your defensive line and you're actually conservative, not going at the opponent. So you will be pretty open to counters in a way, especially on the flank, since containment area is center. So I'm gonna cut it short and not recommend this guy. What the heck is this? Okay. AOD and conservative. If you have a problem defending against long ball spammers or people who play wide long balls all the time, bypassing the midfield, then this guy is really defensive with the high defensive line, but his defensive style AOD and is conservative. I'm personally really not a fan of Master League managers, to be honest. I only sign one every year just to hype it up on the stream. They just have crazy tactics that none of them are actually consistent for you to actually keep getting promoted and winning more matches season. You may have one lucky time, getting promoted, having a good time with them, having a good record win ratio with the manager, but they're just not consistent. I mean, for this guy is 1 DMF, 1 CMF, 2 AMF, wing forward, and CF. Now, this is really good to confuse your opponent. And ideally, I would probably give this manager 6 out of 5 just to confuse your opponent. I mean, the opponent's AI will literally be like, I don't know how the AI would be. I mean, the artificial intelligence. Because normally, your opponent's defenders will position themselves according to your formation. So if you have a wing forward on the flank and you have a striker in the middle and you have the other side wide open, it's weird, and I'm curious how it would work. I've never tried it myself. But for me to look at it and trying all these managers, this is really a funky formation, and I would definitely not recommend it. Next, we have Burchett. Okay, I'm not a fan of 4-2-3-1. It's definitely not ideal for my club. But in the system 4-2-3-1, LMF and RMF, they make amazing runs, and it's so hard for your opponent to mark your LMF and RMF. Personally, I tried him last year, and it was pretty decent. Low support range is pretty good. When your support range is low, your teammate will stay close to the ball carrier. I'm sorry if I'm going fast. This is going to be a very long video. Defensive line is deep, compactness is high with containment area. Burchett has the best perfect tactic out of all these managers. If only this was 4-2-2-2 or it was 4-3-3 or 3-4-3, that would have been absolutely perfect. So if you are familiar how to play with 4-2-3-1, I would give Burchett 9 out of 10. The only downside is the formation. I'm not saying it's bad. Kinda defensively good as well, is very balanced, especially if you just started myClub. So I'm giving Burchett the highest, 9 out of 10. I am dropping 1 point because the formation, it's not ideal for myClub. Next, we have Dulich. Now, I was actually curious to sign Dulich because this is like 4-2-4, the most abusive formation that people use to actually make comebacks. However, when you lose the ball, it turns into 4-2-2. Now, it's fluid formation. If you're going to sign this manager, turn the fluid off and start playing. If you turn the fluid off, your formation will be 4-2-4. Now, with this formation, obviously, you will always lose the midfield battle. So, your gameplay has to be fullback to DMF, back to the flank. Attacking area is wide. Or a long ball from your fullback to your SS and then start your build-up and start your passing inside the opponent's half. You cannot afford to try to build up deep in your own half. And you have to make every attack count, because every time you lose the ball, your midfield on the side is almost open. I would give this manager 7, actually 8 out of 10 if you're going to turn the fluid formation off. Tactic is not ideal. I mean, any manager with build-up long pass and wide, you got to always counter with the long ball. Get the ball out of your half as quick as possible and do your dribbling, your passing, your setup, etc. inside the opponent's half. We're talking myClub here, okay? myClub is all about whoever pressures the most and leading. You cannot play beautiful football on myClub, okay? You will not get rewarded. You can set up a beautiful attack with 5 players involved, decent build-up, while your opponent can do one long ball, cross, and score, okay? That's how it works. Hary, the best manager when it comes to diamond. Now, diamond formation works really, really great this year. And tactically, Burchett and Hary, they have the best tactics. I actually personally signed Valeni because, I mean, I instantly regretted it, because I was going to sign between Valeni, Burchett, and Hary. So, the top 3 managers so far I would recommend is Hary and Burchett. That's my top 2 list. Now, obviously with Hary, it's a little bit predictable. Attacking area center. If you're playing against managers like Luis Enrique or Klopp, you're gonna struggle. I mean, the only thing you can do to use advanced instruction, hug the touchline. If you can't break someone down the middle, use advanced instruction, hug the touchline, keep going wide. Don't even bother going down the middle. Now, obviously, if you're gonna sign this manager, your DMF has to be anchorman, your CMF has to be box to box, and a whole player, and your AMF ideally classic 10 or whole player. Up front, a dummy runner and a goal poacher will be absolutely decent, or a fox to box and a dummy runner or 2 goal poachers because it's counter. So I would recommend this manager 8 out of 10 after Burchett. Barota. Now, Barota and Exel, they're kind of your classic 4-3-3 Barcelona style play. So if you like Luis Enrique, if you like 4-3-3, if you like position game, if you like tiki-taka, Exel, it's for you. Low support range, crazy aggressive. This manager will not let the opponent breathe. But if you lose the ball, you're going to be very dangerous to get countered. Ideally, you want to use your DMF anchorman, your center midfielder, box to box, and a whole player. If you want to be more solid in the midfield, basically do not use a midfield to attack, just do the pass. Go for anchorman, box to box, and destroyer. Or anchorman, 2 destroyers. If you want to be more offensive, simply your DMF can be build up, your 2 CMFs can be box to box and whole player. Would I recommend this manager? 8 out of 10. Same thing with Barota, exactly what I said about Exel. What you need to do, actually it's Helmes, what you need to do basically turn the fluid off. I mean, actually this one will work with the fluid on, because there's no major changes. The only thing will change, you'll be able to have an AMF. So one CMF, make sure can play AMF. AOD and conservative. This is the ultimate park of the bus, long ball spam and feast manager. Because defensive style is AOD, pressure is conservative, deep defensive line. That support range is fucking madness. So every time you have the ball, your players will spread out wide. And yeah, this is going to be good for a crossing game. Make sure you use, because you are very defensive formation wise and tactically, you want to use very skillful fullbacks. Your fullback is going to be the major point of key passes and crossing. And also your AMF as well. And your 2 CFF, you can use someone tall and someone fast and mobile. Would I recommend this manager? Well, if you like to park the bus, I would recommend it 8 out of 10. Next, we have Zamenhof, and the last one. Now, Zamenhof is actually good. If only this manager had like wing forwards, because I really like the tactics. Ideally, I would actually prefer build up short pass, not long pass. Would I recommend this manager? I would say 7 out of 10, simply of the fact that actually tactically is offensive, but formation wise defensive. You can actually be more offensive, changing your DMFs into CMFs. And if you're going to use this manager, then your LMF and RMF has to be players like Ronaldo, Robin, or natural side midfielders like, let's say, well, we don't have everybody, let's say Hazard. But all I'm saying is if you're going to try this manager, then your 2 DMFs, make sure to use players that has build-up card, because you're going to spread the ball out wide. I would not recommend using defensive DMFs. Don't use like Anchorman. Maybe one destroyer, but those 2 DMFs has to be players who can actually pass to spread the ball out wide. With this manager, you basically, every time you counter, you try to go wide. Even though attacking area is center, you're going to be versing one of those, mostly you're going to be versing managers who are compact down the middle. Trust me, I've played it. So ideally, if you can break someone down the middle, use hug the touchline. And don't use advanced instructions unless you need it. Because this one is weird. You have LMF and RMF, and you don't have AMF and attacking area center. It's very weird. Like, it doesn't work the way it's supposed to be. Your LMF and RMF, every time you have the ball, they actually cut in and come narrow. And at the same time, you will not have any other support. Maybe try not using DMFs, use 2 center midfielder. Anyway, guys, so the top managers, as I said, I would recommend is Exel, Helmes, Barota, Hary, Dulich, Burchett, and Valeni. Also, if you want to catch up on 100% gameplay of my live stream, you can actually rewatch the past broadcast. I will try to upload more gameplay and some stream highlights as well. The next episode is going to be top 10 best gold and silver myClub strikers, CF, SS, and move forward. Alrighty, guys. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and click on that bell to be notified when I'm uploading next. Until next time, ciao for now.